My lip gloss is popping. Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are amazing as always. This is part 2 of a 2-part video on this summer friendly hair and makeup tutorial. So for the makeup look today, I'm going to be showing you how I created my base, a simple glow, and a very nice orange look, highlighting the Morphe 3502 palette. If you want to see how I create this look, then stay tuned. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when I drop my next video, then don't forget that bell button. Make it ring, all right? So let's jump into this Morphe look. Okay, so today I think I'm gonna go with my Too Faced Hangover Primer. He looks like this. I use about 2 pumps. And I just press him into the areas that I need it and then rub it in. Don't forget your eyelids. I like to prime my lids because I do add foundation and concealer there, and I want everything to have a fighting chance to surviving a summer day in Texas when it's 100 degrees. Since I'm wearing the Hangover Primer, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Too Faced foundation. I wear the Too Faced foundation in the shade Cocoa. I like the way this looks. So before we get into the foundation, I'm gonna go ahead and do some concealing for correcting purposes. So the concealer shades that I'm gonna be wearing today are gonna be from the Age Rewind from Maybelline. I wear the shades Caramel and Golden. They look like this. I'm gonna start with Golden. I'm gonna use Golden around my mouth to sort of brighten that area up. And I don't use a lot. This is mostly just to brighten my lower half of my face. I have hyperpigmentation around my mouth, so I tend to correct there, and then to correct with my under eyes, just to brighten it a little bit, I'm gonna go with the shade Caramel and do like a nice little swipey swipe. As you can see, there's a very slight variation between the 2 shades. One is a little bit more yellow, the other is a little bit more golden. To blend this out, I'm going to use a flat buffing brush. I have the ColourPop F15. This is the same brush that I use for my foundation. I just like the way this blends out. And then my under eye. And I'm going to apply this by just putting some dots randomly around my face. I like the formula on this Too Faced one as well. Alrighty, now I'm gonna grab that same brush that I used to apply the concealer, and I'm just gonna blend this out. I use a tapping motion more than I do a buffing motion when I'm trying to distribute the product. And I rarely pick up a product on my brush because I feel like I don't want to pack the product in the brush. I want to have it on my face and then blend it out. So let's get to blending. Okay, so the foundation is on. As you guys can see, there isn't a huge variation between my forehead and my jawline because the shade is more complementary to my forehead shade than it is to my lower half of my face. Alrighty, so now that we have applied our foundation, we're gonna go ahead and start applying our concealers. I'm gonna start with the shade Caramel. I'm gonna apply this right around my cheekbone. Then I'm gonna go back in with Golden. I'm just gonna tap, 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 tap that directly under my eye, right at the lash line, guys. And then sort of play connect the dots with it. For my concealer, to blend it out, I'm gonna use a brush today, and I'm gonna use the AOA Studios F9 brush. This is a sharp tooth brush. I think he's really cool looking. He does a great job of just hugging my cheekbone. So that's why we're going with this one. So we're gonna start by blending out the center of my face. We're gonna leave the under eye there for a second, because I like to let that dry down and concentrate so we can get better coverage. Alrighty, now that the center of my face has been blended out, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my contour shade, which is gonna be the Fenty Beauty Espresso Matchstick. And for contouring, I use small little swipes. I don't use a lot of this product because it is creamy and so I can blend it. Just add a dot and dot and dot. A little bit on the bridge of my nose. Now I'm gonna pick up my favorite contour blending brush, which is the AOA Studios F8. Which has a really neat little taper here. I'm just gonna bring that up. And then using this little tapered part, I sort of like soften that line by going back and forward. Just like that. Alrighty, now to continue the rest of my face. Okay, so now that we have applied our highlighting and our contouring, I wanna set my face. So I'm gonna be using the Flower Powder from BeautyBakerie. I'm gonna be using the shade Yellow and the shade Brown. Alright, so to apply the yellow shade to highlight under my eye, I'm just gonna grab a flat brush. This is a flat foundation brush. It is the F15 from AOA Studios. He's a large flat paddle brush. I don't like using these for foundation because I feel like they can be a little streaky, but I do like using this to apply my powder. Anything that's shaped like a pencil is definitely helpful when you're trying to stick something in a certain place. Or it's better to use a pencil shaped brush when you're trying to apply product to a very distinct place. So anything that's pencil shaped and gives you more control is a good thing. So now that my under eye is set, I'm going to use that same pencil brush. I'm just going to draw a straight line down my bridge. Tap some on my forehead. Cupid's bow and my chin. Now I'm gonna go to my next shade. Now I'm gonna pick up a large fluffy brush and my brown setting powder, and we're gonna set the rest of my face. Okay, so the setting powder is gonna be applied with my large Total Face brush from Beauty Accents. He's a very large fluffy brush. I'm gonna swirl him in the cap. I'm gonna pounce it on my skin, just with light up and down pats, and then buff it in. And this will help set that area. Alrighty, now that we have our brown setting powder applied, let's go ahead and move into the next step. I'm gonna grab my handy Buki. This one's from e.l.f. He's a really nice, soft, fluffy one, and I love that it has like this little blunt handle because it's really easy to get up under your eye area and go in a back and forth sweeping motion like that and remove that excess powder. All right, now that I feel like I have a nice thick coat of protection on my cheek, my under eye area, I'm gonna go ahead and put away my setting powder and we're gonna jump into the shadows. Okay, so the first brush I'm gonna pick up, let's go with a large fluffy brush. I'm gonna be using the AOA Studios 1E103 brush. I'm gonna pick up the color, let's go with Ablaze. It's a very warm, almost burnt orange shade. I'm gonna pack it on the brush, just like that. And I'm gonna stamp it right onto my upper lid space. And I'm gonna use a windshield wiper motion, a left to right focus. Hey, she rhyming. And I just apply that up into my brow. Okay. So now that we've applied that first shade, which is Ablaze, I'm gonna put the larger brush back and I'm gonna pick up a smaller brush that would allow me to have more detail. I'm gonna go with this one. This is the Morphe M330. He's a tapered fluffy brush. I like using this for my second color because I feel like I have the control to add depth, but not so much the pencil style. What color are we gonna go with? We're gonna pick up the shade, let's go with Brick. So the second shade I'm gonna pick up is Brick. I'm gonna load up my brush. I really pack it on. Then I'm gonna start here in the corner. And I'm just gonna slowly intensify this look. I'm gonna bring this shade all the way in from inner to outer corner. And my favorite way to think about it is breaking your eye into 3 sections up and down, and then breaking your eye into sections going left to right or in and out, whichever works best for you. So I've already applied a blaze to the upper part of my brow, upper part of my lid to my brow space. So now I'm gonna use this color to sort of give me that definition in the middle and slowly add depth. And this is gonna be a windshield upper motion, just sticking close to my orbital bone and then lightly going up. I don't want to go too far up because I don't want to lose my first shade. But if you do accidentally go too far, don't worry. You can always pick up the same brush, pick up a little bit more blaze, and put it on top. So as you can see, we've gotten that definition going, and we've gotten a gradient, so you can see the difference between my left and my right. Now for the other eye. Now that we've applied our second shade, let's move on to my crease shade. Okay, so for my crease shade, I'm going to apply that using the AOA Studios E112 brush, and we're gonna pick up the shade Heat. Heat's a little bit more deeper in the orange to red phase. And I'm using a pencil brush because I wanna make sure that I'm staying really close to the outer V and just bringing that in about halfway. And this is how we're gonna create depth and a little bit of smoke. So I'm gonna start at my outer V, and I literally just press the color on. Just pressing it on. And then with a slight windshield upper motion, I'm gonna go from the outer V in to halfway. Just like that. With slight back and forth flicking motions, this is probably the easiest way to explain what we're doing. And then just go towards my orbital bone, glide across him, and we've created a little bit of depth. As you can see, we have a little bit more depth established on this eye than this eye. And always, if you have hooded eyes, just take a pause, look straight ahead, and then determine, can you see the depth that you've established? Okay, so I'm gonna pick up my same FE113 brush from AOA Studios, and we're gonna grab the color Muddy. I'm not gonna pick up a new brush. I wanna have that orange still on there to try to help me, okay? So for this, I'm being very, very tactical about where I'm putting it. It's a very detailed moment because I just wanna establish depth in this outer V corner. That is it. And then slowly bringing it towards my brow. And this is just to give you that really nice cut moment in the smoky eye department. You see how we instantly just added a little bit more. We've gone a little bit further in the dark situation. And we're just gonna do this. And I'm not even going halfway. We're more like a quarter to 1/3 of the way in from the outer V into the crease, and just sort of keep it there. So now that we've established that depth, looking head on, you guys can see that we've added a little something, a little something to the back area. Then I'm gonna take a clean fluffy brush. And I'm gonna take the Morphe M513. This is a clean brush, I haven't put any product on it. And I'm just gonna slowly do a windshield wiper motion to kind of soften so there isn't a harsh line between where we applied Muddy and the orange shades. Alrighty, so now we have the depth added. We've given it a little bit of a smoke out look. It looks really, really good. So the last thing we're gonna do is decide, are we gonna go with a cut crease or a halo eye? Let's go with the halo. So to help me bring in that halo effect, I'm going to go back and pick up the E112, which is my medium-sized pencil brush. I'm going to pick up the two darkest shades, or the last two shades we applied, which is going to be Brick. And I'm going to tap him right here in the inner corner. And I'm going to pick up Muddy and bring him all the way into the center. I'm talking inner, inner, inner. And then slowly bring him up. We're not trying to connect the outer V to the inner V. We want there to be this space here in the center. So just barely bring that in. So I want you guys to see what I'm doing. Just lightly line your lash line with it, and then very coastingly, just, you know, real controlled, like, bring that in. So now you can see we've established depth in the inner corner, just like we established that depth on the outer corner. Ooh, we're cute. So now let's start picking that shade for the highlight. Let's do Sauce. Do a swatch for you guys. Sauce is very orange. Very pretty. So we're gonna use him as my first color, and then I'm gonna top him off with Pure, which is a more goldy yellow shade. This one here, this one's going to be the surrounding shade, and this is going to be the one in the highlight. So we're going to have like a spotlighted look going on here. So grabbing your flat brush, pick up Sauce. I really load this on. So loading up my brush, and I'm going to tap it at my lash line, at the lash line. So I'm going to let the finish line, yeah? And I'm just going to go back and forth until I feel like the line is as wide as I want it. And I'm always pausing to look in the mirror to make sure that when I'm looking straight on, I'm not going too far up. And then I'm gonna start moving upwards. Soft tapping motions and more focusing on the edge. So I'm just going towards the edge more heavily with this shade than I am in the center, because like I said, we're going to use our second shade, which is Pure, smack dab in the middle. So just holding your brush like this, at a slight angle, just tap and pull it inwards. And I sort of work my way up to my darkest shade, which we used today was Muddy. And I bring it out as far as I want, and then I just sort of tap to intensify. See that? Now we're gonna do the same thing coming from the inner corner. So it's gonna start at the end of where we put that shimmer, and then slowly tap and pull inwards. I don't go all the way up to my crease with this shade because I really do want Pure to be the highlight. And so I'm just gonna press it on some more, focusing on that bottom section closest to my lash, and I'm really just moving it in, moving it in. All right, so as you can see, we literally left a space like right in here. There's no hint of the Sauce shade. We just want to keep that empty. I'm going to grab my smaller flat brush, and this one's also AOA Studio, and it's the E112. And I'm going to load Pure up on the bristles. So using that brush, which we've loaded up with that golden Pure shade, I'm going to go right above my lash line and just start to apply this in the center and working my way up to my crease. Now you can see the variation between shades. Ooh, that's really pretty. He's looking amazing. And that's pretty much done. So let's jump to the other eye. There we go. So there you have it. He's looking beautiful. And even though I have hooded eyes, I can still look straight ahead. I can see the gradient. I can see the work that I put into creating depth and light in this eye look. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and grab a smudger brush. I have the Morphe under eye smudger, and I'm gonna pick up a few of these colors. I wanna keep the lighter colors in the center and the deeper shades to the outside. So I'm gonna start in the center with Heat, and then I'm gonna transition to Brick, and then we're gonna transition to Muddy. First shade, Heat, dead center. short left to right strokes. Very, very close to the lash line. And without cleaning off my brush, we're gonna jump into the second color, which will be Brick. All right, now for the final shade, we're gonna jump into Muddy using the same brush. I'm not gonna clean it off because it kind of helps me blend it a little bit better too. Starting at the outermost corner, I'm just gonna stick that right there to connect it to the upper lid area. And I love using my deepest shades as a guide, a blueprint, a map for my liner. And if I'm not wearing liner, then if you're using a shade that's like a really deep brown or all the way up to a black, you can just use that as liner. It'll give you a matte liner. It won't be as intense and cut and defined, but that's where we're going today. So I'm just gonna take this shade, starting at the outer V, smoking out the outer V, connecting it to the upper, and then slowly blend it up. And making ourselves a wing with that eyeshadow, just like that. And now for the other eye. Alrighty. We're done with the shadows. If you want to go back and put your shimmer in the center of your lower lash line, you can. I typically don't do that because I'm going to put mascara on, so you're not going to see it. But if you want to, you can. I have very long, full lower lashes, so you don't really see all the details, especially when I start going and getting really detailed at the bottom. You don't see it, so we're not going to put it on. Okay, now that we've dusted off that shield from the eyeshadow, it's all nice and cleaned up. We're looking nice. Very nice, very nice. So now let's go ahead and do the finishing touches on the face. So the first thing I'm going to do is bronze. My favorite bronzer right now that I've discovered that works best for me is the one from Fenty. And this is the Coconut. He's really pretty color. Woo-hoo-hoo. And I'm going to use an angled brush. And we're going to be using an angled brush for the application. I'm going to be using the AOA Studios F14 brush. And I'm going to load it up. Using the pointy end closest to my mouth, I'm going to just go in an upward motion. And then slowly do soft buffing motions. Just like that. All right, we're all bronzed up. Let's move on to the next product. We're gonna go ahead and apply our blush. I'm gonna use a round fluffy brush. This is gonna be the F13 from AOA Studios. And for blush, I'm gonna pick up my Saharan 2 palette. And I'm gonna pick the shade Tau. T-A-U. He's a really pretty orangey shade. And I swirl my brush into this shade, and just with a little bit of tapping, that can be a lot. So I like to just flick it off the excess or tap it onto a towel or napkin and then slowly add that on. These blushes are very pigmented, and for me, I like a nice soft blush. I don't like to be too blushing like a newborn baby, you know. I just want a nice hint of color to separate the bronzer and the contour and just give me some warmth to my cheeks. I like to have warmth. I don't want to look like I'm embarrassed. So the next step we're going to be doing is highlighter. I'm going to grab this MFMG collaboration with ColourPop. It's the shade Poise. It's a loose highlighter. It's a really beautiful, warm, bronzy shade. This has gotten a lot of drive out of me. We've gone a long way. I'm going to use this teardrop brush. This is from the Mink collection of the AOA Studios. This is the F25. It's a teardrop shaped brush, and we're going to pick up that highlighter, and I'm going to use very light touch because a little bit of this goes a long way. And I'm just going to apply this. I always start back at the corner, right before my eye and my temple, and then just slowly intensify my highlighter. And I do a little tilty motion in the light to make sure that I didn't apply too much, but just enough. it'll beam for days. I'm talking like the sun in Arizona. Ooh, that is gorgeous. And then I'm gonna lightly put the excess on a towel. I always keep paper towels and Kleenex in my vanity space. And then so I can wipe off any excess and then slowly bring that down to the apple of my cheek, just a little bit. I have a very round face, so like I said, I don't like to accentuate the roundness. I want to continue to keep it more chiseled. So that's why I lightly bring things into my very full, my very full Santa Claus cheeks. So I just want to put off some of that excess powder and then lightly blend it out. I don't want it to look like highlighter just got slapped on the side of my face, but I definitely want to lightly intensify. And that is gorgeous. Now for the other side. Alrighty, now that our highlighter is on and we are beaming, looking nice. Ooh, love it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and spray and set my face. Get my Diva fan. Isn't she beautiful? So now that we've applied our setting spray and it is dry, we're gonna go ahead and finish with the final touches. My last step is always lips and mascara. So let's jump into the lip look. So we're gonna pick up the Sephora Rouge Gel Lip Liner. It's their dark brown shade in number 17, Molasses. So now I'm just gonna line my lips. I always line a little bit more intensely on the outside because I'm 95% of the time I'm going to do like an ombre on my lip. So I like to have it darker on the outer corner and lighter in the center. That looks nice. I'm going to pick up 3 lip products. The first one is going to be the MFMG or Makeup for Melanin Girls Liquid Matte Lip. This dries down matte. It does not transfer, but it is one of the best lip products I've used. It's pigmented and it stays in place, and I can wear this all day, even after having a lunch break, drinking my coffee and all that jazz. This doesn't move. And this is in the shade Rust. He's a beautiful burnt orange shade. The second color to complete my ombre, I'll be using the Juvia's Place Liquid Lip. This is the matte in the shade Candace. This one came in a lip kit. It includes the matte shade and it also has a metallic finish. Since I'm very, bright right now, I'm not going to do the metallic. I'm just going to stick to the mattes. So we're going to start with the shade Rust from Makeup for Melanin Girls. And I'm going to line the outer part of my lip. Now we're going to grab Candace from Juvia's Place, and we're going to generously apply her to the center. All right. So now we have that done. The last and final step for my lip look today, I'm going to pick up the MFMG ColourPop collab in, what is this shade called? Neat Freak. Hey, I'm just going to apply this. I love this shade. It's like a champagne color. It has a little bit of like gold flecky glitter. And I'm really proud of this on today. I really am. My lip gloss is popping. All right, so our lip gloss is done. So our lips are finished, and my final step is going to be applying mascara. I'm going to be using the Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced. I have the waterproof one, which comes with really pretty like teal color. I'm going to apply this off camera, and then I'll be right back with the finished look. Alrighty guys, mascara is on, and this is the finished look. Ooh, she glowing. I think this look will be great for any summertime outing, whether it's midday or midnight. I think this will definitely fit. If you've enjoyed this video today, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from me, hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified of my next video, don't forget to hit that bell button. Peace and love, guys. Live bold.